Welcome back, everyone. It's Eric from Rare Candy here. Today we are back with a recorded tournament series from a recent League Cup I got to go attend at Cape Fear Games in Wilmington, North Carolina, not too long ago. And so here we're going to have all of the different top cut rounds. We have, of course, here a top 8 match. We also have a top 4 match and a finals match. And if you guys want to see some of the other top cut matches that I didn't get to record, you can check out Cape Fear Games' own YouTube channel, where they actually were nice enough to upload the entire tournament that they recorded. So here in top 8, you actually have yours truly. I'm going to be on the left playing the Tangrowth deck, and over on the right we have Jaime Springer playing Mewtwo Mew. And I do apologize about the glare right here in the active spot, guys. I'll do my best to give pretty good commentary, make sure you guys are aware of what's going on, but we did not notice that there was this much glare whenever we did originally record this. But it looks like I am going to get to go first. I'm starting with a Jirachi, immediately getting out Shrine of Punishment and Mimikyu to shut off the abilities of Mewtwo Mew. So of course the Mimikyu shuts off GX abilities if they have damage counters on them, and the Shrine of Punishment is going to get down that 1 damage counter in between turns to Jeremy's GXs and EXs. So at the very least, this Mewtwo Mew in the active is going to be pretty useless, and will hopefully prevent Jeremy from having a big explosive like turn 1 welder play or anything like that. And it looks like here I'm going for a Pokemon Communication, just trying to figure out what to grab. I'd imagine I'll probably go for Ditto if it's in my deck. If not, we might see... Okay, yeah, it looks like that is what I'm going to eye down here. Ditto, I think that's a really good target just because Netball can't search it out. So if I'm going to go for a second Tangela, if I'm doing it with a Communication, Ditto is definitely the right target. And definitely good to get it evolved before like some spreading shenanigans come down from like Espeon Deoxys' GX attack or anything like that. And here, just to pass over to Jeremy, so a decent little first turn on my part here. And so I think that's a... Okay, it's a Mallow and Lana in his hand. I was going to say, if it's Guzma and Hala, that could be annoying. Guzma Hala is definitely going to be a trainer card I'm going to have to watch out for in this matchup, just because it can search out the dreaded Stealthy Hood, which is kind of the bane of this deck's existence. So, the Mimikyu, it's very, very good against the Mewtwo Mew deck, but the issue is if they ever get down that Stealthy Hood, it's going to allow them to reuse their abilities again. So it looks like, ooh, just a pass. So this is definitely not a strong start from Jeremy so far. And so if you guys aren't too familiar with the Tangrowth deck I'm playing, basically you're going to use Tangrowth to do more damage for every energy and your opponent's retreat cost, and then it plays a bunch of the Absols from Team Up to increase the retreat cost of basic Pokemon. So that's the whole concept of this deck. We posted a video about it a couple months ago. This list is a little bit different, but core concept still the same here. And here you can see I'm getting on Tangrowth. I found an Absol as well, so I'm going to be able to start putting on some pressure here against Jeremy and threaten like a potentially a knockout on this Mewtwo Mew on the next turn maybe. So let's see, it has a 2 retreat cost for the base, then the other Absol, so going to be hitting 100 plus the shrine damage coming down as well. So I'm just going to need, I think, probably one more Absol in play will kind of guarantee a consistent amount of damage against this Mewtwo Mew deck. So Jeremy's going to grab, or he's going to play a Cherish Ball, so we'll have to see what he's going to get. Probably a Dedenne GX if his hand really is this dead. But we'll have to see. Might just be into the Mewtwo Mew. I didn't really get a good look at everything that's in his hand. I saw he did have a Mallow and Lana earlier. I couldn't really see much else beyond that. And here it looks like he's going to grab a Charizard and Braixen GX, I believe it was. So that'll be an interesting card. And here you can see, yeah, that is it. And I'm just double checking to make sure what it does. I knew what the main attack does. It's the GX attack I was a little bit more confused about. It's like fire, and your opponent's active is now confused, I believe it is. Or you attach, basically they're burned and confused, and you attach, like, I think it's up to 5 energy from discard to your Pokemon any way that you like. But I'm pretty sure the attach 5 is the base effect, and if you have additional energy, you get the burn and confusion. I think that's how the card reads. Here, Jeremy's going to get down a Rainbow Energy on this Charizard and Braixen, and here he is going to play the Mallow and Lana. So Mallow and Lana is definitely another big annoyance for this deck. It's going to allow him to heal 120, and he discard 2 Fire Energy in the process. And here he's going to move into the Latios, and just going to go for a Dedenne. So I guess just giving him the option to retreat if he does want to with the Latios here. Here he is going to bump the Stadium. I know that was definitely going to be a pain for him. Here he's going to go for Tag Call. So let's see what he's going to grab. Maybe another Mewtwo Mew and a Guzma and Hala. I think that could be an option. I'm pretty sure Guzma and Hala is going to be the big thing he wants to grab. As long as Stealthy Hood is indeed in his deck. And yeah, you see him going for it. So the Stealthy Hood must be in there. So no doubt Jeremy is going to recognize that's going to be the big card he's really going to need in this matchup. And going for an Espeon Deoxys. Okay, so he can pitch away the Espeon Deoxys with the Giant Hearth if he wants to as well. So let's see where he's going to go from here, though. And he is going to pitch away the Espeon Deoxys as kind of expected. Now, I believe Jeremy did already attach Return. He attached the Rainbow Energy to the Charizard Breaks In and also played the Mallow and Lana. So he can't play Welder, can't attach any more energy, but if he does want to, he can use the GX attack on Charizard Breaks In here. Also going to get down a Jirachi. The Jirachi's not too great in this particular matchup just because the Absols I have are going to really make it annoying for him to ever get good use out of Stellar Wish. It's going to make it so his escape boards aren't going to quite give it free retreat. And here, just a pass. So he's starting to stabilize a little bit, but definitely a really rocky start here for his deck. So here I'm just going to go for a Cynthia. So again, just probably looking for another Absol. Now, one thing that is annoying, this Latios actually has a 0 retreat cost. So right now I'm only hitting for 40 thanks to the Absol here. So I definitely need another Latios, or not Latios, but Absol. And they do draw into it, which is really nice. And another Tangrowth. So my deck is, you know, pretty much doing okay. I wouldn't mind another Shrine, though I guess probably... Yeah, actually, I think if I had a Shrine, I probably would not play it just because I really want to time Shrine for whenever Jeremy puts down a fresh Mewtwo Mew. Because no doubt he's going to want to wait till I don't have a Shrine in play so that he can safely bench a Mewtwo Mew, start getting good effect out of it without its abilities being shut off. So here it looks like I'm going to grab a Great Catcher off of the Switch. Now the question is, do I actually go for it? And I'm just trying to map out my prizes to potentially win this, this series here. And here I'm just thinking, if I played the Great Catcher, what would I get rid of? I can easily get rid of the Net Ball, but just from there, what would I want to get rid of? I really don't want to get rid of another Tangela. I think I'm going to need the entire, like, 5-4 line I have in this deck, if you count the Ditto. So, here I'm just going to save the Great Catcher, it looks like, and just swing into this, this Latios. So now it's up to 90. Now the only issue hitting into this Latios here, well, actually, is that 90? It should actually be 70 if I'm not mistaken, unless the Latios had some Shrine. Yeah, maybe it had some Shrine damage, I forget. But basically the big thing is I want to take just 2 tag team knockouts and kind of win from there. Now, the one thing this does open me up to, if I can get some like nice residual Shrine damage on this, I can potentially knock it out with Pheromosa Buzzwole GX to win the game. So that is, I still have like a 2 knockout win condition with this Latios, you know, being swung on. So that's something I will have to kind of keep in mind. So here it looks like Jeremy is going to go for the Guzma Holo, grabbing Stealthy Hood, Giant Hearth, and a Rainbow Energy, it appears. So no doubt he's going to want to get that Stealthy Hood down on the Mewtwo Mew. That way he can start attacking with it. The Giant Hearth also, that's going to be good. He knows I play Shrine, so he wants to hang on to that. So I might actually not bench, or I might actually not even put down the Shrine if I get the opportunity, because I really want to force him to discard that Giant Hearth. Or if I get like a Marshadow, I want to be able to reset Hull away his Giant Hearth and force him to put down another one, because I really want to ultimately win the Stadium War here. I think it's going to be really important against this deck, especially because Stealthy Hood, it shut off both Mimikyu and also the Absols. So my Tangrowth is only going to be hitting this thing for 70 damage at a time, which is such a pain, really. So here, just another pass, but again, I'm fine with that. It's giving me plenty of time to get some damage on this Latios here. And here it looks like I am going to go for the Great Catcher, though. Trying to get the first hit on this Mewtwo Mew here. Though, I think there is an argument to maybe having just left the Latios, potentially. But here, I am going to get in the first hit on this Mewtwo Mew, which I think is also fine. I think I also could have brought up the Charizard breaks, and that could have been okay, too. So I think maybe in hindsight, the Charizard breaks would have been a little bit better because I actually probably would have two-shotted it. So yeah, maybe that was a misplay in hindsight, guys. This is actually my first time reviewing this footage. So let's see what Jeremy's going to do here. See a switch in his hand here. Don't know what else. I think I see some fire energy. The giant hearth, obviously, that he got last turn. He has the Dene. So actually, if we can get him to discard the giant hearth here, that would definitely be good. That definitely make me feel better about getting down another shrine. So here he's going to go for a switch, putting the Jirachi up. Okay. So he's going to get rid of a Mewtwo Mew with the giant hearth, it appears. Okay. Going for 2 fire energy. So I'm just trying to figure out what he's trying to, like, what he's trying to make happen this turn. Maybe he still needs a welder, because he might not have a way to actually attack with that that Mewtwo Mew. So we're going to see a Stellar Wish from Jeremy. Let's see if he's going to get off these 5 cards here. I think we see a Cherish Ball in his hand. See an Acrobite. So if he is indeed looking for Welder, that is going to get him a little bit closer here. Okay, he's going to go for the Acrobite. Gets to look at the top 2, discard 1, keep another. So looks like he's going to attach for turn to the Mewtwo Mew. And just a pass. So yes, a really slow start. You can see these Absols are really make it annoying for Jeremy to do a lot too. In some instances, he had the Latios just stuck active for a couple turns as well. But I'm actually okay with this because this will allow me to only have to knock out 1 tag team and win the game that way. Because I can knock out the Jirachi, the Latios eventually, and then probably just go through 1 Mewtwo Mew. And that'll be my path to victory, I think. So we'll have to see what Jeremy's going to do. He can discard the Naganadel with Giant Hearth if he decides to. He's going to go for Cherish Ball. Let's see what he's going to grab. Looks like he's eyeing down Charizard GX. Almost wouldn't mind seeing Solgaleo GX hit the discard pile at some point. That could be a good card eventually. Though I think he's at a point where I think he just wants to like start taking some knockouts. Now, the one good thing about his situation, though, is that Stealthy Hood is really a big pain for my deck. It's turning a 2-shot into, like, what, a 4-shot? Because it's only 70 for each time I attack him. So he definitely has time to, like, kind of take it slow here, if he does decide to. Okay, so here he is going to discard a Jirachi, it appears. Now, I am really happy about this Dedenne, though, because that did get rid of another Giant Hearth. So now I feel a little bit better if I want to put down a Shrine. So I can more safely do that if I decide to. And we do see a Mallow and Lana in his hand here as well. So that's definitely going to be, you know, one of the big cards that's really going to keep Jeremy kind of in this game here. We already saw him heal off a lot of damage with it earlier. I'm assuming he only plays the 2. If he plays any more than that, I might be in some trouble. Here, I guess he's just maybe trying to figure out what attack he might want to use this turn. You know, he has a decent amount of attackers in there. He has the Charizard breaks in on the field. He has the Espeon Deoxys in there. He has the Naganadel GX in there. So he might be thinking, like, I think the only way he can actually get a knockout... Actually, I don't even think he can get a knockout with any of his attackers because he only has 3 energy. So here it looks like he is going to go for the GX attack from the Charizard breaks in. So I'm going to be burned and confused, which is Definitely annoying. I'm going to have to flip out of this if I do want to attack. So I'm not burned anymore at the least, which is nice. Or if I have a switch, that would also get me where I need to go here. And here I'm just trying to figure out, can I actually play down my hand enough to use Erica this turn? And that's kind of like what I'm thinking about. So here I'm going to communication. Looks like I'm going to put the Tangela back in my deck here. Just trying to play down my hand enough to draw some cards with Erica's Hospitality. So Erica's Hospitality is a pretty decent draw supporter, but you can only play it if you only have 4 other cards still remaining in your hand, excluding the Erica. And so here, just going to put, looks like the Jirachi back in my deck as well. So it's kind of annoying having to burn these communications for essentially like no effect. And then from there, I can play the Erica and draw some more cards. So you draw equal to the amount of Pokemon your opponent has in play. Jeremy has 5, so it's going to be a draw 5, which is pretty nice. So I might be looking for a Shrine of Punishment at this point, since we saw Jeremy discard the Giant Hearth. I think that's one of the bigger cards I could be on the hunt for here. I see a Great Catcher, though I think that's my last one, so I don't know if I really want to burn that. I kind of want to save that for, you know, when it comes to taking a knockout. And here, it looks like I am going to flip through the Confusion, so getting another 70 damage on the board, that's really big. I really need every last attack I can get here, just because of how much damage that Stealthy Hood is reducing. So it looks like Jeremy is eyeing down that Mallow and Lana. And so he's just, I guess, just thinking where he wants to go on his turn from there. But I mean, I think he can safely just, you know, Mallow and Lana switching into the Charizard Breaks In. He can take a knockout, search any 3 cards out of his deck with the, was it Crimson Flame? I forget the name of the attack when Charizard breaks in, but it's 3 fire and a colorless. This is 180. Search your deck for 3 cards, put them in your hand. So that's actually really big because he can kind of like set up for a counter stadium. Oh, but he has the reset hold Marshadow, so he actually already has a way to counter Shrine if he does want to. So here he is going to take his first prize. You know, this game's been going on for a pretty long time, and not a whole lot has happened in terms of prizes. You know, Jeremy's been successful healing off a lot of that damage I've been getting on the board with Tangrowth, and yeah, he's been able to kind of stay in this game despite having a really bad start. Alright, so no doubt I'm going to want to get down another Tangela. That's going to be the big thing I want to see this turn. And yeah, I am going to get that down. Attach a Grass Energy here. Go for a Stellar Wish. And just trying to figure out what I get here off of the Stellar Wish. No supporters, I believe. So it looks like I'm just going to go for a Communication. So that'll allow me to get another Tangrowth the next turn. But I really don't need too much. I think the only cards I really would want at this point are going to be Shrine of Punishments. I think that's really going to be it here. So just a retreat, going to swing on this Charizard Breaks In for, was it, I think it's a good, I think 190 if I'm not mistaken, because it has what, I think it has a 3 retreat plus the 2 Absols. That's, it says 160 then. Okay, so even so, it's a 2-shot. But yeah, ideally, I think what I'm going to do is, if I can ever get Shrine to stick, if I can... but here he has a switch. I was going to say, if I can knock out his Charizard Breaks In and then pick off Latios with a Great Catcher and like a Beast Game GX at some point, that'd be my path to victory. But Jeremy, he's been burning through these switching cards. Another thing I'll have to kind of watch out for is how many switching cards he's used, because potentially I can win just via decking him out with the Tangela. Tangela actually has a really cool attack, Tangle Drag. For 1 Grass Energy, you get to switch your opponent's active with one of their bench Pokemon. So that's actually kind of a cool win, like alternate win condition this deck has, because with all of the Absols that you play, you can actually make it very hard for something like a Dedenne GX to retreat. So if Jeremy goes through all of his switching cards and most of his energy, that is like an alternate win condition we're going to have access to at the end of this game. Jeremy's played 2 switch at this point. You know, 2 Mallow and Lana. No doubt he plays a Cynthia and Caitlyn, and probably plays an additional switch at least. So if he plays 2 more switching cards, then we can consider going for that play. But for the moment, he probably has too many outs right now. So here, yeah, this Mewtwo Mew is fully powered up, and every turn he can just grab 3 cards out of his deck, which is really, really insane. So here I'm just checking his discard, probably checking how many switching cards he's gone through. That is something I was, if I remember correctly, trying to keep track of a little bit. Okay, so I am going to get down another Tangrowth this turn. I have a Rosa in hand as well, but here I'm going to go for Star Wish before playing the Rosa. You want Star Wish, typically you would Star Wish after you play your supporter, but depending on what you get off the Star Wish could affect the specific cards you grab off Rosa. So here I am going to go for the Reset Stamp, it appears. And I do have Shrine, so I think I do want to see the Shrine come down if that's the case. And I am going to go for the Rosa as well, so I do get to search my deck for a Pokemon, a Basic Energy, and a Trainer card if one of my Pokemon was knocked out on my opponent's last turn. So really cool with this deck just because Tangrowth only has a 1 retreat, making it really easy to get set up with a Rosa. So you can grab your Evolution, your Energy, and like a Rosa for next turn, or you know, whatever Trainer card you might want. So if I have another Rosa, okay, yeah, it looks like that is what I'm going to get, just to be able to keep chaining these Tangrowths best of my ability. So I am going to get down the Shrine. So I want to be able to reset his hand if I'm going to put down the Shrine, because no doubt he had ways to bumping the Shrine there. That way we have a higher chance of it sticking for at least a turn in play, and that's going to be the big thing. So I'm going to retreat, and we're just going to attack into this Mewtwo Mew for a whopping 70 damage yet again. Alright, so Latios is up to 100. Really need Shrine to stick for this turn because then it will be up to 120, meaning Beast Game GX can win the game on it. So that's kind of my tentative path to victory. I'm gonna, you know, lose a couple Tangrowths taking down this Mewtwo Mew, but eventually we'll take it out, and then Buzzmosa will win us the game here. So let's see, Jaime did get an Escape Board, got a Weakness Guard energy as well, so he's really committing a ton of energy to this Mewtwo Mew. Really not sure, maybe just in preparation of like a hard retreat at some point. I think that is an option. So like next turn, if he wants to retreat into like Charizard Breaks In, I guess he could. I think I'd almost rather see the energy come down onto Dene, believe it or not, just in preparation of like a Tangle Drag or something. I don't know. So let's see what else he's going to do. Like I said, I saw an Escape Board in his hand as well. Didn't really get a good look at anything else though. Here he's just going to go for the attack, knock out another Tangrowth, and the Shrine does stick. That's really big here. So no doubt he is going to get some sort of counter stadium out off of these 3 cards. So let's see. I do have a Net Ball that will allow me to get another Tangle at the least, but here I'm going to go for a Stellar Wish first. I think I probably should have gone for the Net Ball first just to thin another card out of my deck, but no worries. We have the Rosa. That's going to allow me to get exactly what I need pretty much anyways. So here I am going to go for a Tangela, it appears. Now it looks like I'm a little bit conflicted, but yeah, I don't see any reason why not here. And gonna go for a Lana's Fishing Rod, grabbing a Tangrowth, and I can also put back a tool card with Lana's Fishing Rod if I choose to, but I have no tools in the discard. So the Lana's Fishing Rod effectively acts as like your 5th Tangrowth in the list. Your Ditto is your 5th Tangela, so the Lana's Fishing Rod is like your 5th evolution. So here I'm gonna go for another Reset Stamp. I really just want to keep this Shrine in play, to be honest. That's like one of the big things. You can keep the Shrine damage going. You know, that's going to be the one of the big things I really need, just because this Stealthy Hood is so problematic right now. And here I'm going to get down, well, it looks like I'm thinking about getting out a Grass Energy, but oh, here I'm just checking my discard, I guess. And just going to retreat into the Tangrowth. And just swing for another 70 damage, probably. So right now it's at, what, 130? I believe it's at 130, so it'll be at 200. So it'll be at 210 after the Shrine damage this turn. Okay, and there we see more damage coming down. Again, now the Latios GX is at 120, which is the big number I really wanted Shrine to get up to. And here, Jeremy does get the Marshadow off of the 3 cards. That is definitely a little bit annoying, but like I said, we got the Latios up to 120. That was the big number I really needed Shrine to get to. So Jeremy's at a point where he can start setting up another Mewtwo Mew since 2 shrines are gone. He could safely do that if he has a way to do that. Now, I don't know what is in his hand, though. Okay, we do see another Mewtwo Mew. Let's see. Does he have anything else to go with it? So I think I only want to see... Okay, I'm actually not a big fan of benching the Mewtwo Mew here, just because if I do get another shrine, that one is shut off as well. So I think would have rather have seen the shrine, or not the shrine, but the Mewtwo stay in hand until he's ready to start attaching to it. So like if he's going to go for a welder or something like that, I'd rather him save the Mewtwo for whenever he's going to do that. Because now the shrine can just come down without the Mewtwo, you know, even having any, you know, getting any work put in and get his abilities turned off. So here I'm really going to need a Tangrowth here. And so here I'm actually going to go for a Star Wish first. And I think the reason for that is I think I'm actually out of Pokemon Communication, which is the only way to draw into Tangrowth. So I'm actually trying to thin additional trainer cards out of my deck. That way we can hit one better with this Lily here. So here I'm just gonna, I played the netball and failed it as well. So let's see, do we get the Tangrowth? And it does not look like we did. Though I do have I do have netball as well. So here I'm just taking a peek. Oh, and I do have a communication left in deck. So yeah, I actually remember this turn thinking I was out of communication, and that was why I went for the Stellar Wish here. So that's actually a little bit of a misplay then. I definitely should have saved the Star Wish for after the Lily, if that was indeed the case. But nevertheless, I do have another Jirachi. If we hit the communication, we can switch. And yeah, I do hit the communication. So I can put the, looks like a Jirachi back in deck, or maybe an Absol, I forget which. And here I can just grab Tangrowth. And now my deck is in a spot where it's very thin. And basically, next turn we can just win, hopefully, because I can knock out the Mewtwo Mew this turn, getting 3 prizes. And then next turn, can just Great Catcher up the Latios and knock out with Beast Game GX. And I do grab another Shrine off of the prizes. Not too relevant, but again, really all I want is to see Great Catcher Buzzmosa energy. So if Jeremy has a reset stamp, this would definitely be a good turn to use it. That's for sure. But here he's just going to knock out my only Tangrowth, saying, huh, Eric has no attackers on board, so he might just win if that's the case. So it's going to come down to literally my last attacker in the deck. I think the entire 5-4 line of Tangrowth is gone at this point. And technically Ditto should be in the loss zone. That is something I did forget to do in this game. But here I'm just going to go for Star Wish. We get the Great Catcher. So I can do bench the Buzzmosa, the Grass Energy, and we can Great Catcher, getting rid of 2 cards. Doesn't matter which ones. Bring up that Latios GX. Now, Beast Game GX will do 50 damage, knocking it out for the game. So, super, super close and pretty long, actually, game 1 here. Jeremy had a pretty bad start, to be honest. He really didn't get going until halfway through the game. Just all of his healing is really what kept him around for so long. But the big issue with this game 1, though, is that it ate up a lot of time for this series. You know, this top cut round is going to be a best of 3. And if game 2 does not actually conclude, then whoever wins game 1 will be the winner, which is myself in this instance. So we're definitely going to have to get in a pretty quick game 2. I think Jeremy's really going to have to bet on me just having a bad start and getting benched out. So it looks like we both have a Jirachi start. It looks like Jeremy's going to get down a Giant Hearth here. Playing a Tag Call as well. So no doubt we'll see like a Mewtwo Mew and maybe like a tag team to just pitch away with the Giant Hearth. Might even see the Charizard breaks and just come down and get benched just because it's something that can still attack even around the Mimikyu. And looks like he's going to go for the Guzma Hala, so immediately just kind of saying, you know what, I need to get this Stealthy Hood down and make sure that we don't really, you know, have any issues attacking. So here Jeremy's also going to pitch away it looks like a Reshizard with his Giant Hearth. So, you know, getting an attacker in the discard for his Mewtwo Mew to copy. And now he gets some energy in the process as well. So let's see what else. I don't see a draw supporter in his hand, so we might even see a Stellar Wish first. And he has the Stealthy Hood right off the bat, so he actually doesn't even need the Guzma Hala in this instance. So kind of an interesting card to grab. Actually, if he had the Stealthy Hood already in hand, I think I would have rather seen like a Cynthian Caitlyn or just a different attacker. So here he is going to grab a Mysterious Treasure off of his Stellar Wish, going to pitch away a Fire Energy in the process. Probably just grabbing another Mewtwo Mew, or could grab an Espeon Deoxys just to preemptively kind of thin it out of the deck. Maybe pitch it away with Guzma and Hala. So that is what he is going to do. I would imagine, since we haven't seen a supporter, yeah, we are going to see the Guzma Hala getting rid of a Espeon Deoxys and a Fire Energy. So we'll probably see it in a Skateboard and probably a Rainbow Energy. And yeah, and just another Giant Hearth. So despite not having a welder, this is actually a pretty good turn one, I do have to say, just because he can't attack anyway, so he's at least getting set up. He's getting a couple Pokemon in the discard pile. He has a Stealthy Hood. Honestly, pretty solid first turn here for Jeremy. And looks like he's thinking about putting down the skateboard. I think that's fine if he does want to. And just a pass. So one thing that is awkward is I know Jeremy has the Giant Hearth in hand. So I'm actually like a little bit reluctant to put down the Shrine. I'm probably actually not even going to until Jeremy is forced to discard his hand with a Dedenne, or in case of like a reset stamp, something like that. I think that's really what I want to wait for. Or if I can like get rid of his current Giant Hearth with a reset hole and force him to get down an additional one. That would be good as well. Basically, we really just want to win the Stadium War. We need every last bit of damage on these Mewtwo Mews. So here on my first turn, playing 2 Netballs and going for a Cynthia. So decent little start to the turn. I definitely want to find at least one Absol here, no matter what. Just because right now this Jirachi is free retreat. We really want to prevent that Jirachi from moving from the active without the help of something like a switch. So that's going to be the big card I really want to see for this turn. Probably... Okay, so we do draw the Absol. Also, maybe I'm trying to think what else would have been nice here. Maybe a Reset Hole Marshadow. That could be good. And looks like I don't have a supporter in hand, so I might be forced to grab. I think it was a Cynthia there off of the Stellar Wish. Or I could grab Rosa, but I think Cynthia's probably the safe bet. So here I am going to grab the Cynthia just in case, because if this Absol, for example, makes it to where this Jirachi can't actually retreat, I'd rather just have Cynthia instead of Rosa in this instance. So just going to get down another Absol. And here I think I actually might save my attachment just because we know Jeremy has the Espeon Deoxys. And whichever Tangle I attach to, he theoretically can use Cross Division GX and attempt to knock out whatever Pokemon that is. So it looks like Jeremy has a Lysander Labs in hand. That was a card that actually could have been pretty good last game at some point, but of course he doesn't want that anymore, just because that is going to shut off his Stealthy Hood. So here he's going to discard a Fire Energy to get 2 more Fire Energy with this Giant Hearth here. And we'll have to see what he's going to do from here. Probably just thinning some cards out of deck, that way he can try to get a Welder off of this Stellar Wish. I think that's the big card he hasn't seen yet that he really does want to. And we see Weakness Guard Energy, Rainbow Energy, a Jirachi. Do have a switch. Nothing too much else that I could really see. We'll have to get another look at his hand, but I don't know if I actually saw a way to get energy down yet. So yeah, we're going to see another manual attachment and maybe just a pass from there. Actually, we could see him switch into Reshizard and just Outrage. I think that's actually okay here. Oh, wait, no, he's not. I was thinking, well, Reshizard would actually knock out Jirachi because it's Fire Weak, but Mewtwo obviously is not. Little lapse of memory there on my part, guys. But okay, so that's definitely good for me. I don't mind the lack of pressure being put on. I'm just going to get down a grass energy, get down a skateboard, it appears. And now I could actually get down... Now, I am going to get down a shrine. I have to say, I really don't like this at all here, to be honest. I know Jeremy has the Giant Hearth in hand, so I think this is actually a bad play for me in hindsight. Or maybe I really am just trying to thin to try to find something in particular. Either way, I'm not sure. I definitely think this is a pretty terrible play for my part, just getting down the shrine. Okay, so it's a pretty good hand, though. We can take a knockout on this Jirachi. And I do find an additional shrine, which is pretty nice, and a communication. Either one's fine. Here I'm going to go for the shrine, though, in preparation of his Giant Hearth, removing mine from play. But yeah, guys, definitely should not have put down the shrine there. I think that was really, really terrible play. So here, I'm just going to go for a retreat. And just going to knock out this Jirachi, it appears. So, shrine damage is going to come down. But again, we're going to see that Giant Hearth just come right back down as well. Thing is, Jeremy's hand really isn't too good, though. So, getting rid of the Jirachi, actually pretty big here, I think, just because that is going to prevent him from finding a Cherish Ball, you know, finding a Welder or something like that. So it looks like he is going to discard the Switch Giant Hearth. I'm actually not a big fan of that. I think I would have rather have actually seen the Lysander Labs get this card, just because it's pretty useless. He wants to make sure the Stealthy Hood remains active throughout the game. And here's just going to find one Fire Energy. I guess that's going to be his last one in deck. So he definitely wants to find... he definitely wants to find some other attackers pretty soon as well. So here he has his third energy. We could see Double Blaze GX come down and just knock out this this Tangrowth. So Double Blaze, of course, is the GX attack on Reshizard. For 3 fire energy is 200. That's the base effect, and that's enough to knock out the Tangrowth here, which is just fine. So I'm going to get down another energy. Going to go for a Pokemon Communication, going for an Absol. In this actual situation, I wouldn't hate going for Toxic on Tango. I think that actually might have been a decent potential play here. Just because the Toxic, it poisons them and they take 2 between every turn. So I think that actually might be a little bit more impactful long term than just hitting for 70. So here I'm debating getting down Shrine. That seems pretty bad, just wasting these stadiums like that. But I guess at the same time, in this particular instance, it's not too terrible because Jeremy already put down his counter stadium. And he has no supporter, so I think there's a good chance this shrine actually sticks. And, ooh, that is rough, actually, because I do not find another Tangela. So here I'm just going to go for a Stellar Wish. I do find a Lily, but I actually don't think I take it just because I have 2 other Lilies already in this instance. So this is actually kind of an annoying turn. So at this point I have to think, what do I want to do from here? Do I attack with this Tangrowth? You know, I already attached, so I can't attack with the Reset Hole Marshadow in hand either. Here I'm going to go for Lana's Fishing Rod, though, just grabbing a, looks like a Tangela. Putting it back in deck just to increase my odds of drawing into another one. So normally I would want to save the Lana's Fishing Rod for Tangrowth, but honestly, I'm not even confident this game is going to complete. So I think actually giving myself just more outs to Tangelas is going to be better. I don't think we're even going to have time for me to go through 5 Tangrowths. So I'm just taking a peek, what attackers does he have in discard? So if he has 1 more energy he can attach, he can take a knockout. And I think it would be better to maybe retreat into Absol in this case and just feed him an Absol here. I mean, I could attack with Tangrowth as well. I don't hate that. Looks like I'm debating getting down Marshadow instead. And just sacrificing the Marshadow. So he is going to get a Cherish Ball. He is going to be able to grab a Dedenne GX and, you know, start doing some stuff here. But it looks like he's actually going to go for a Break Zard. Looks like he was eyeing down. I don't hate that either, because that can actually set up his hand for future turns if he does want to go that route. So here we are going to see the Break Zard come down. Seems pretty good. So he's going to attach. And I would imagine, again, we'll probably see him bench the Break Zard here. Oh, and here, I guess time had gotten called. So at that point, guys, yeah, since game 2 did not complete, the winner of game 1 is going to win the series. So yeah, that game 1 stayed up way too much time for Jaime to come back and close out this series. So I am going to proceed over the top 4. And guys, definitely stay tuned. We have a top 4 match, and of course, eventually the finals match being uploaded to the channel as well. I'll have links down below in the description as well whenever they do go live. But if you guys did enjoy this content today, of course, feel free to like and subscribe, and consider supporting this channel by becoming a patron over at patreon.com/rarecandytcg, or by picking up some merch from our online store, rarecandytcg.com. It would mean a lot. But as always, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.